into DAR Sports Media. It's another football show. It's going to be an interesting one this week. Not as interesting as it could be, because our man Tay has no interest in the smoke this week. So he's a no-show. Got my man True, got my man Apollo. Tay last week was talking about how it was going to be easy. It was a traumatic weekend for Tay, for football-wise. Between easy work, going to beat Indiana by 20, and Indiana went in there and took care of business in Oregon, and then his beloved Washington Commandos Monday night falling victim to the base god Jake Moody, resurrecting his career, hitting 4 field goals to put the Commanders away. Real quick up front, I want to do a little bit of college stuff, because college stuff is starting to get a little bit interesting. Like I said, Indiana, its first test passed, went into Oregon and handled business, put the beats on those boys. Those guys are looking good. I want to give credit to Texas. We were ready to throw dirt upon them. Just last week, they came out and had a fantastic defensive performance against Oklahoma and put on a dominant win in the Red River shootout. I ain't going to call it the Red River rivalry like they want to do it now. Fantastic job by them. Still some questions, but hey, a win is a win, and they did it in double-digit fashion. Something interesting I do want to pay mention to it as well. I'm watching Auburn against Georgia. That's a big game, and I'm watching these, all these SEC teams, and the one that has the most settled quarterback is the one that we were throwing dirt on in week 1, and I mentioned him. I don't believe it was here. I think it was on a United Football Media. Tell me about it. I think I mentioned I like this cat Ty Simpson, and he has gotten better and better every week for Alabama. And Alabama, that offense, the Kalen DeBoer offense that Michael Penix did so well in, is really starting to come together down there in Alabama. And Ty Simpson is looking more and more like a top quarterback every week. All these SEC teams kind of have questions at quarterback, or if not questions, nobody has like a star at quarterback. I think among the big top tier teams, the only 2 teams that really have somebody that's approaching like a stud quarterback is Miami and Alabama with Ty Simpson. So all that, so much more. The big news, of course, this week, college football, brother Franklin, James Franklin, getting fired up there at Penn State after another deplorable loss. Northwestern.
I love it.
I am not. So I understand why you would love it, but I'm really not so sure. I don't know. I think this is a little bit of a Penn State kind of thinking a little bit too much of themselves. I'm not sure how much better anybody else is going to. I don't know. I think they have a perception of their program that they could be doing so much better than making the semifinals and being a top 15 team every year. I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if anybody has taken that job and taken them to a higher place than where they were. But there's also the aspect of, it seems like every single year they have these athletic freaks in the draft, Micah Parsons, Saquon Barkley, Mike Gesicki, on and on and on. Every year they got guys like that in the combine, in the draft. So they're getting studs and no national champ, no natties to show for it, even though they did get to a semifinal. I mean, that's pretty damn good. But yeah, James Frank, the saga is finally over. I know a lot of Penn Staters personally that are ecstatic about this. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be too surprised if people ended up looking back fondly upon this era, depending on what things happen. But it's another one of those programs that I talk about that are actually receiving a resurgence now in the NIL era, because they have these cultures where people love football above everything else and are more than willing to spend the money to give them robust NIL budgets to get the best players. So you're going to see a resurgence in the Penn States, the Michigans, the Nebraskas, the programs like that. So I don't know. Interesting to see where that goes going forward. True, you sounded like you were happy and chipper to discuss old James Franklin getting dismissed.
The only thing I'm happy about to discuss is the fact that I agree with you. I think Penn State might look back and think, maybe this wasn't the best idea. So anything that makes Penn State suffer, we already know. I'm on board with that. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head when you said they kind of like overvaluing what they could be or where they think they are. And that tends to happen far too often with a lot of like teams that have potential, but they don't actually reach their potential. And I feel like Penn State, we saw what they did last year. This year, a little interesting versus last year, but I just think this is going to backfire, and I can't wait for it to backfire. Not saying that not saying that he was really going to solve shit or do something, but it's just everything looks nice from afar, and making changes always looks great. Grass looks green on the other side. Oh, we could probably be doing better than what we have. And then you go over there and you realize it wasn't what you thought it was. So I have a feeling that's going to end up being what happens here. And I'm hoping for it. I want Penn State to suffer. I want Texas to suffer. I want Penn State to suffer. Obviously, Texas did not suffer this past week, which brought me sadness. But it's a sad week in general, clearly. So it is what it is. Like I said, I don't see Penn State becoming anything I don't see them this like a powerhouse change moment for them. I don't see that happening. So I don't see it. I don't wish it either. So we shall see how it goes, but I don't think it'll be a super positive change for them.
Apollo, any thoughts on Brother Franklin finally being relieved of his position? It's a shame Axe couldn't be with us tonight. I know he'd have plenty to say.
I mean, I'll keep that quick and brief. It just goes to show you that some guys just can't get over the hump. But it's also something to be said for somebody who's perennially, at least winning like 10 games. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's kind of tricky, man. You never want to see anybody lose their job, but I mean, James Franklin is just one of those guys. Like, he's an excellent recruiter. But as far as his teams, he just loses big games. I don't know, man. I mean, my only problem with firings like this is like you already knew that you weren't committed to him fully this season, or else you wouldn't have done this, in the middle of the season like that. So, I mean, when it comes down to that, if there's like a growing disconnect between the fan base, you know what I'm saying, the boosters, you know what I mean, and coach and stuff, then you're kind of left with no choice but to make that move. But I don't know. I just feel that the good organizations, no matter what sport you're in, they usually try to be a little more forward thinking or a little more proactive than reactive. So I mean, you hear names like Matt Rule or the dude from Indiana, forgot his name.
Sigonelli.
Sigonelli, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I mean, and then I even heard, I think Joel Klatt said, like, what about Brian Hartline? I mean, as far as him being, if they wanted to go the route getting a younger guy or a new guy a chance, Brian Hartline is an excellent recruiter as well.
I think I heard Matt Campbell, Iowa State as well.
Matt Campbell. So I mean, you got different options, but I don't know.
Like, if you're one of these guys and you saw a dude with a good winning record who 2 weeks ago was in the top game of the week talking about national championship, they were ranked number 2 in the nation for a reason coming in. 2 weeks ago, it was all good. Just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, they're on top of the world if they win that game. To fired. This is a program that's won the Big Ten 4 times ever. And you're firing a guy with that kind of a win-loss record? I don't know. If I'm one of these other coaches, I don't know. I don't know if I want it. Like I said, they've won the Big Ten 4 times ever. And you're fine. Like, I just don't know if Not
You
so
know,
sure I'd want to go to a place whose perception of themselves don't really match the results like that.
well, yeah, I agree. You know, and plus Penn State. You know, when you got schools like Penn State who have a big number of resources, damn near unlimited number of resources. You know what I'm saying? Like they start to smell themselves or buy their own hype a little more. So they're like, well, we can just write it off. You know what I mean?
NFL this week, another big week. I know you're feeling damn good, Apollo. There was a lot of hype in the city last week. Things are looking up. Well, you're feeling damn good about that, but you're probably not feeling damn good about only 3 teams ever have made the playoffs, starting 1-5, and that is where the Ravens currently sit. And it has not been a pretty 1-5. It'd be one thing these were close games if it was like, oh, if we just had Lamar, but this defense is off its fucking rocker. Seem to have, because it's a lot of the same guys. They seem to have they feel kind of 49er-ish to me. The 2024 49ers, I mean, in the way that they're kind of going about things. Like they're just like washed and accepting it. I don't know. But on the other side, on the yin to your yang, Jackson Dart and KM Skattebo, they can only be stopped by a door that says pull. Otherwise, they're tearing it up. What do you thoughts and feels, man? 2 major stories. Ravens are a shit show. Giants maybe a little bit fun, a little bit of hope, a little bit of swag.
Yeah, definitely a interesting, interesting weekend. So let's get to the Ravens first. Already knew the Ravens were going to lose this game. Most people did. You know, it's just one of those things where I think I mentioned it in the last pod. You know, I'm hearing like, you know, the sentiment of, hey, let's get the guys back, let's get Lamar back after the bye, and let's just try to make a push. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see. I just think you're disrespecting the game when you're thinking like that, because you know nothing's easy in the NFL any given Sunday. And like I said before, the Ravens have been so dominant these last 5, 6 years maybe, that teams are waiting to, kick you when you're down. They're ready to pounce on and embarrass them.
Oh yeah, they're enjoying this. They've been waiting for this.
They've been waiting on it. So, why think that you can just flip that switch? That's not going to be that easy. Lamar or no Lamar. But I think getting out. See now, getting on the game itself. Cooper Rush, he looked terrible. He looked like he didn't belong on the field, and that ain't all his fault because we've seen what he did in Dallas. I think he was 9 and 5 in his relief starts, I believe, a couple years ago. So, like, he can win games, but the problem with the Ravens is that I don't know why they think that you can have a backup that's not resembling Lamar Jackson. Like Tyler Huntley,
same style of player.
Yeah, like the same style of player. Like it's a scheme that we're running here, and to have a non-mobile quarterback like Cooper Rush, yeah, it's good. Like it may look good for a guy to stand in the pocket and get the ball to these pass catchers, but the offensive line and the scheme is not really built for that. So getting Tyler Huntley back, I mean, he's not good himself, but he has knowledge in the system. And as we've seen when he first got in, he made the offense flow a little more. I mean, they were lucky to only lose by 14 points, to be honest with you. Yeah, man, like we'll see how this goes. Like I said, the schedule softens up a little more after the bye. Lamar's supposed to be coming back. We get a couple other guys back. we'll see how this goes, but they might be able to squeak out, a few couple of wins, at least early on after this bye, get everybody's hopes up. But like the one of the things that's still keeping the Ravens afloat is how bad this division is. Like I said, the Bengals are falling, even with Joe Flacco. They're going to fall. They might not even win a game. The Browns are not trying to win games. I mean, Dylan Gabriel is not good. Shador may not be that much better as far as getting them wins, but he's damn sure better than what they've been showing all year. So get a boy
220 yards on 52 attempts. Absolutely disgusting. Gillen Gabriel. Disgusting.
Gillen Gabriel. So and then we got the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is shutting his mouth, not going on Pat McAfee. Mike Tomlin wasn't playing that, so he's following suit. But the Steelers are the Steelers. They're still going to have some mishaps too. So I mean, like I said, things are still in play. It's just it's going to take miracles though, and actually them not giving up.
Good transition to your New York team. The other New York team. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, you gotta look like some type of a fucking bozo. Aaron Glendy and the Jets he thought he was hot shit. He thought he was really popping shit when he flew Aaron Rodgers across the country to tell him he didn't think he could play anymore and cut him. And then Aaron Rodgers broke that foot off in that ass in that game that they played, and now the fucking Jets are owing $1 million, and he might get fired by the end of the year. You look like some kind of a fucking dipshit there, Aaron Glenn. Anyways, so on to New York.
Action Jackson Duck. And Cam the Ram Skattebo. Oh man, I love these boys. They give heart. They give juice to this team. They give juice to the damn city. I mean, like you just said, Glenny and the Jets. This show might be over soon. So I mean, it's giving New York something to cheer about. Look, this game, I mean, I think nobody had the Giants winning. Except for maybe diehard Giant fans, wherever they are. But they dominated them the whole game. They dominated the Eagles the whole game. Now there's a couple of factors that could play into that. The Eagles coming off that loss to the Broncos and having that short turnaround. I mean, I don't think much can get solved or fixed within that short turnaround. So, I mean, they just didn't look like they, I don't know. Like with the Eagles, I've never seen a team or a franchise be so miserable.
Yeah, just look miserable every snap. My goodness.
I never seen champions be so miserable. And it's crazy. So it's like, okay, they're imploding. But like Jackson Dart, man, I mean, the kid just uplifts the whole team. It's the way he fights too, the way he sacrifices himself. You hear players all the time saying like, yeah, man, we'll go to war for our QB. Yeah. Like we're running through a wall through him and like all that type of stuff, because you got to have a guy that inspires you. And like I said, the kid ain't Tom Brady. Like we're not going that far, but it's the little things, especially when you're a terrible team and a bad franchise for the most part of the last quarter century. You know what I mean? Like it means something. I think his passing rating was like 104. His QBR was like 90. Like he only had like 8. I think 17 of 25, I believe. Like, and I mean the kid he runs well. It's just a matter of when he wants to go head hunting or like launch his own head at defenders. He won't survive doing that stuff. Y'all hear me say that every week.
But he ain't gonna survive, and Brian Daboll ain't gonna survive. That fucking descended into chaos.
Man, look, did y'all see that? Like Brian Daboll. This man up there yelling at
Wilson for 2 snaps and started screaming at the doctor. Jackson Dart was inside the tent screaming out the
Screaming.
windows.
Get his ass. He was even following him in the damn tent. Get him out.
True. What stuck out to you this past weekend?
Broncos barely getting it done was what I said. I think I said it on here. I said, yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself because the Broncos are going in there and kind of shit the bed a little bit. So kind of had a feeling that might have been a thing that could have happened. The win is a win, right? You take it how it comes. A win is a win. Nothing from that game makes me feel comfortable about where they stand, despite their record. The record is I mean, that's the ideal record. And the funny part is it could have gone a couple different ways if they would have just closed out a couple games. But you live and you learn. You live with a win. You take the W, you move on. Jackson Dart, Giants, obviously that's something that stood out. Obviously, I have immense respect for Jackson Dart. Obviously, like Paulo said, you're not going to maintain playing that same style. It's just not going to work. So I hope he does what needs to be done and make some adjustments and make some changes. That would be ideal for him and his play style. But for the most part, I think everything that I saw this week was what I expected, except, well, actually, I take it back. I kind of expected the Bills to lose. I expected that. I was expecting that. Not in the fashion that they did. I thought it was going to, like,
I think it's just really unfair that they make the Bills even play games. Can't we just give them the championship?
I know, right?
That's what I'm being led to believe by all the fucking media and the way that they glaze these fucking dudes all the time. Why do they even have to play, guys? Just let them be the champions. I don't understand. I feel like on a certain fucking podcast, maybe the one you're listening to right now, that people were saying, hey, their run defense is fucking non-existent. That's another fucking reason. Yeah, that's another reason why your man Tay didn't show up tonight. Because during the preview season, when we talked about the AFC East, he said, when the Bills play these teams, you're going to see the difference. You're going to see the gap. Well, guess who's in first?
Yeah.
They got no run defense. They got no weapons. They ain't doing fucking nothing. Continue, sir.
I think people, like I said, I've said it before. I have nothing against Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's an amazing quarterback. I think he's a great talent. But I just feel like that team, they have some holes. They got some holes in the team, man. And it's evident. I mean, come on, man. Drake London going for like, what he had, like 160, 170 or something on him. And like, my man Robinson just cooking them. Like it was an embarrassing show.
Playing bad their ass.
Yeah, like it was just even my man Tyler got a touchdown off of him. If I'm not mistaken, my man Tyler, they had them running. They just ran straight at him, and it's like the Falcons knew what to do to get them out the paint. That's what it's like. They had to right what you do it for. You go in there, you get it done, you make it happen, and that's it. And yeah, man, that was the main thing that stood out to me. The Bears and Commanders, obviously, that's I wish Tay was here because I would love to hear his thoughts because he is a Caleb Williams fan. The win is a win.
He had a Caleb Williams game, man. He did some stuff that was neat. He also did some things that were the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen on a fucking football field. Why are you running right into linebackers? What are you doing? Why? I'll
tell you, it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs when the Commanders, who to me are one of the best teams in the NFC, at least on paper and how I saw them, like I thought it would have gone a little differently than it did, and I was kind of disappointed in how it went. But at the end of the day, the Bears walked away. I personally did not expect. I was thinking, all right, man, the Commanders probably win like 30 to like 17, something like that. But no, they could not get it done. Also, I did put out an article about disappointing teams. Obviously, the Ravens was there top, and the Dolphins, which I'm sure you'll have.
From an outside perspective, what did you guys think? I just, you guys really don't know. I'm immersed in the fan base now. I'm immersed in that whole fucking culture now. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
And,
Very sorry to hear.
Bro, there are people who go on that page that I work for now, who, if you check like their comment history on YouTube, there are people whose literal entire online presence is nothing. 50 out of 50 is just defending to all these different pages. And then this motherfucker goes out there and gets you 200 yards on 32 attempts, 3 interceptions, and then goes up there and says the craziest shit imaginable after the fucking game. Had the whole goddamn sports world talking. From an outside perspective, what did you think of what he said?
I think it's it's just sad because his lack of self-awareness and his lack of like he's a terrible leader. He does not exude any leadership qualities. And maybe he's doing that on purpose. Maybe he doesn't want to be a leader. Maybe he don't want to be in Miami. Who knows?
I'm telling you right now, between what he says and the shit he does, he's just a very stupid person. He's just a fucking moron. He scored a 13 on the Wonderlic. The Wonderlic did its fucking job in this fucking situation.
Hey, look, it's just, like I said, it's a sad state of affairs because at one point I was like, man, this guy, he has like some potential. He has some talent. I'm like, yeah, man, like to see him progress and like to see him get to a certain point and do a certain thing and be able to push the team to a certain level, especially for my guy Chris.
He's at a certain point and he's pushing the team to a certain level. All right.
Oh yeah, they're going places.
On the other side of things, for the Niners, it's just I don't know if it's because it becomes like almost normal, like all the people getting hurt all the time, but so much of the praise I heard for Baker was like, oh, he's doing it with his third and fourth string receivers, and they've got multiple linemen out. I'm like, that's just every week for the 49ers. Like, 49ers have been playing with their fourth and fifth receiver and a backup lineman. People forget that the dude, left guard, Connor Colby, he was not the starter. Ben Barch was the starter and got hurt. So we've been with a backup. We've been with fourth and fifth receivers, third and fourth tight ends, backup quarterback. It was just too much to ask this weekend out of that crew to go against a team that I think we all agree in the rest of the sports world is catching up. Probably a top 5 team in the NFL, definitely in the conference, and an MVP candidate who made MVP level plays. I'm not disappointed at all in what the Niners did this past weekend against that level of competition. And of course, I talk about this all the time on here. 49ers fan base is just the most fucking dramatic, catastrophizing fan base that there fucking is in the world. People talking about, well, Fred Warner's out, so see you next season. The season's over. They ain't got no chance. Hey, man, they've already got 4 wins. This is a super easy fucking schedule. Like I said, we've been doing this without none of the weapons except for McCaffrey. Let's see what things look like once Purcell's back, once Jennings is healthy, once Kittle's back, maybe even Brandon Ayuk. Once our linemen get healthy. It's, yeah. And if they make a trade, a little Trey Hendrickson action, maybe Jermaine Johnson from the Jets, to add to that pass rush. Hey man, shittier teams have gotten further than what people are talking like this Niners team is going to do. So let's just fucking don't panic now. There'll be plenty of time for that later. Let's just see what fucking happens. Start getting some guys back healthy. Who fuck knows? That's what I hear these talking heads, really popular ones, like, oh, well, Detroit's fine because they're going to get these guys back. And what other team? The Ravens are going to be fine because they're going to get all these guys back. And this other team that everybody likes is going to be fine because the Niners are getting guys back. Not Warner and Bosa. Those are big losses, but they're getting all their offensive guys back. They're getting Malik Mustafa back. The Niners are getting guys back, but they're just written off. It's the same thing. So not disappointed in the performance this weekend. looking forward to. I hope we have some offensive guns back for Sunday night against the Falcons, because the Falcons, that offense is starting to cook a little bit, starting to get things figured out. Hey, if you draft a running back number 8 overall, maybe you should give him the fucking ball. That's a crazy concept. It seems to be working all of a sudden. We've only been screaming it for 3 fucking years now. So I'm looking forward to that, obviously. What are you looking forward to in the weekend coming up there, True?
It's funny because we just had a conversation. Me and Apollo will be on the opposite ends this weekend a little bit. Really excited to see this Giants and Broncos game. Really excited for just to see how that goes. I'll definitely be watching. I think it'll be extremely interesting, a lot of fun. Surprisingly, although the Chiefs did what they did against the Lions, and people are like, "Oh yeah, they're back," and yeah, like can't count them out. Which you can't count out Patrick Mahomes. You can't count out that team. That's true. But I'm anxious to see what happens against this Raiders team. Raiders are not like a great team, but the Raiders typically play their like divisional competition a lot better than they might play the rest of the entire NFL. So I'm interested to see that game. The Commanders and Cowboys game became a lot more interesting with the loss, obviously for the Commanders. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Child, that Cowboys defense.
Whoa. How did I forget? I was like, man, I know I'm forgetting the game. The Carolina Panthers beating the Cowboys was not what I expected, but I'm so happy it happened. I'm so happy that it happened. And I think the Commanders and the Cowboys game is like who rebounds from their deflating losses against teams that they should have probably defeated, who bounces back better. And I saw Cowboys fans online talking about, oh man, Dak is going to get us right. Dak's going to get us right. Can he? Will he? I don't think so, but we shall see.
Dak don't play Will linebacker, y'all. So,
and also the Buccaneers and the Lions. That's probably to me the game of the week in terms of like what I would look to. I mean, obviously the Lions have some issues. Buccaneers still dealing with certain things too. But I think on paper, I think in terms of what we've seen this year, despite the Lions taking that loss against the Chiefs, I think that's the game to watch. That's the game I'm most invested in this coming week. I actually am dreading Thursday's game because I'm here. I am here in the city. The Steelers will be here, which means a bunch of insufferable people, as well as the Bengals fans who are also insufferable themselves. So, possibility
of that Dallas situation. Great fucking trade. Trade away Micah Parsons, because if you think for a second that Micah Parsons is doing anything about what the fuck this defensive situation is, you're wrong. So good on them accepting their reality and getting a first round pick or 2 out of it. Paulo, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
So a few different matchups here. Rams and Jags. You got 2 4-2 teams. It's going to be an international game. I think it'll be across the pond, but it's always interesting to see, with teams with good records and the identical records, which team comes out at the end. The Jaguars, them being in London is basically like their second home, because they've been over there so much as a damn franchise. So I don't know. The Rams, I think the Rams are a 2.5 point favorite. So that's not a lot of points. So especially if Puka Nacua is not right, if he doesn't play, this game could get a lot closer. It could also be a high scoring game, like a shootout almost. Because I don't know, like usually, certain teams play, like their defense plays kind of meh when they go like overseas in these international games. So that would be That'll be interesting, definitely. Then you got like a pair of stinkers, but this stinker in particular, I think is going to be a little fascinating, and that is that dumpster fire Miami Dolphins versus the other dumpster fire, the Cleveland Browns. They're both 1-5 teams, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time Cleveland is in Cleveland all season, or at least since week 1 or something like that. Like they've been on the road overseas for a couple weeks now, right? So that would be interesting to see. Like, hey, are they going to play good in front of their home crowd? Is Dylan Gabriel, excuse me, Gillen Gabriel, is he going to get a win? I don't know. Is Tua Tagovailoa and the rest of those Dolphins, are they gonna eke out a win for their coach? I don't know. We'll see. But I think it's going to be a fascinating, smelly game. And I think it's going to be really good betting wise too. I'll have some action on that game.
Quinshawn Judkins, Top Shelf Hall of Fame game incoming.
There you go.
We had a bet. We had a bet on that Dolphin show because we do like a little like betting thing at the end, and we bet if that Haskins guy was going to go for 120 rushing. Like basically asking, could you put fucking anybody out there on the field? And it wasn't Haskins, it was the other running back for the Chargers that went off. So, woo, Judkins season.
Yeah, Judkins, and he looks good. He looks good. Yeah, so we'll see. The other game, this is another stinker, but it's fascinating to me to watch these, like, to see these teams lose. The Panthers, the 3-3, 500 Carolina Panthers versus Glenny and the Jets.
Oh boy!
Woo! Can they finally get a win?
Panthers team rolling into the end of October. Let's go.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got the Jets winning that game.
Wow.
I got the Jets winning that game. And no disrespect to the Panthers. I'm not saying that I don't think they're legit. That like their wins are legit.
Hey man, Rico Law over there, he's getting it done. Ted McMillan,
Uncle Rico looking good. T Mac finally got his touchdown. Like, hey, things are looking up, and they're getting Jalen Coker soon. I think he's I think they activated his practice window, so they're getting him soon. I don't know, man. It could be some juice, but I think there's some pressure on the Carolina Panthers to not lose to Glenny and the Jets. They don't see. Wouldn't it be fascinating if the Panthers got all this goodwill?
Yeah, all this good momentum, and then
they fall to Glenny and the Jets. You don't want to be that team that the Jets beat. So that's pressure, and I don't think Bryce Young and company can do good on pressure. But we'll see. And they're on the road. But we'll see. And of course, True mentioned it a little earlier. We'll be on opposite sides of this one in some ways. But he likes Jackson Dart too. So in some ways, we'll be
moderately.
He likes him enough. So that's going to be. I think the Giants are going to lose that game because they're going to be on the road. The Broncos, even though they squeaked one out against the Jets, I think they'll have their head on straight. They'll be a little more focused and take care of business. But all the Giants need just for the upward trajectory of Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo in that offense, because the defense, they're getting the defense inspired. I mean, and that defensive line, there's a lot of dogs on there. Yeah. So I mean, they can make things interesting, definitely.
Eagles are looking a little silly. I told y'all about that 5.5 wins. Eagles are looking a little silly. Washington's
looking a little silly.
looking vulnerable.
Cowboys, yeah. Are the
Cowboys are. Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It could make something shake. Could make something shake. So
speaking of making things shake, DAR, we got so much stuff coming up, man. Me and True, we got so many plans cooking and percolating. I don't know what form of fucking media pod that's coming out later on this week when you're listening to it, but something is fucking coming out. We're deep in discussion right now. Right at this moment, it's looking like all due respect, love, admiration, D'Angelo, RIP. We might do a D'Angelo retrospective this week. Got some other stuff going on that we're discussing, trying to figure out guests and scheduling for, but something is coming out by the time you're listening to this. I promise. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout. As always, United Football Media, we're making things happen over there as well. Of course, all the time, the Medium site is going nuts right now. True is just pumping out the articles. True and the writing staff just pumping out articles. We've signed some real big heavy hitters to the writing staff lately. So be sure to check that out and be on the lookout for all this other extra stuff. We got the NBA Western Conference preview up for you NBA hoop heads. NBA season's coming up. We'll be having the Eastern Conference preview sooner than later within the first beginning of the season. We'll also have that up. Be on the lookout. All that and more things are cooking and developing around here, and that is because the world of DAR never stops.